I mean, look at the RAM. God, and the storage, it's like a PC feast for your eyeballs.
Hey folks, and welcome to DIY in 5. My name's Trisha Hirschberger, and if you've ever oogled a custom PC setup that's lit up like the grand finale on the 4th of July, then you maybe, just maybe, have been sucked into the PC hardware RGB craze. Whether you love or hate the color vomit that's taken the hardware world by storm the past few years, it's hard to deny that adding light and color to your gaming PC build can really help customize the aesthetic. And in the world of DIY PCs, it's all about customization. If the info in today's video lights up your motherboard, then please go ahead and hit that like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future tech tips. When it comes to RGBing your life, like liquid cooling and other DIY PC trends, it's gotten much easier in recent years than it used to be. That being said, customizing the lighting in your build is still not so plug and play as one might think. That's because there's no real standard that would allow for RGB lighting compatibility, and not every manufacturer's cool new RGB components work with everybody else's. This adds another layer of complexity when picking compatible PC components. There are, of course, RGB lighting kits that include LED strips that you can stick inside your case with double-sided tape and control with a remote. These are by far the simplest way to go. But with so many high-end components built nowadays with RGB built in, it seems silly not to make use of it. So, if you're going to pick out some fancy RGB components, try to stick to hardware that can be synced by the motherboard software, things like fans, SSDs, graphic cards, cases, etc. The best way to tell if your RGB components will work with your motherboard is to check your motherboard manufacturer's compatibility page. Remember before when I said there's no real RGB standard? That's true, but there are a few main cable formats. Some use a 4-pin cable format, one pin for R, G, B, and power, respectively, while others use 5, adding an extra pin for pure white light instead of maxing out all the colors to make white. Also, most motherboards have 2 RGB headers, but if you have, say, a whole bunch of RGB fans and need more than that, this could be a problem. There are other solutions to make this happen via daisy chaining and adapters, but that will require its own separate research. Picking components that are all compatible with your motherboard usually also ensures that you can control everything from your motherboard's lighting-specific software instead of relying on different software for each specific component. Now, we've talked a lot about RGB lighting inside your PC, but it's important to look at your setup cohesively, and the tower is only one part of the whole picture. Peripherals like keyboards, mice, mouse pads, headsets, and more have all jumped on the RGB bandwagon and can really set the tone in your gaming room if synced appropriately. Again, here, there's no real standard, and each peripheral manufacturer usually provides their own proprietary software to control each product. As an example, HyperX has Ingenuity software, which lets you set up and control lighting effects by zone, and set button bindings and program macros, as well as create and store game profile presets. But what if you had another manufacturer's headset but a HyperX keyboard and mouse? Guilty as charged. You would need 2 different software solutions to control everything, and good luck manually syncing that pulsing effect. I want to give a huge shout out to all the Kingston and HyperX community members who sent in photos of their sleek RGB builds to showcase in this video. It's always so awesome to see what other people have created and draw inspiration from it. If your build didn't make it into the video, or if you've RGB'd your setup for the first time as a result of watching this video, feel free to share it online using the hashtag DIYin5 so that we can give it some love. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time with some more DIY in 5.